Miki Matsubara.
Okay, wait. I could be talking about 100 different topics right now. For example, the COVID pandemic that is sweeping our country and helping people self-delete themselves.
I could talk about how in Waukesha, Wisconsin, the school board has declined federal money because they don't want to give kids free lunch because, they don't want them to think life is too easy. I could talk about this guy. I could talk about this gal because that's what this channel is all about. I'm a left-leaning, introvert, social political commentator. But recently I heard this song sang by this person, and it made me do what any normal person would do on the internet: look her up. But Google has a funny way of autofilling text that you type, and Google didn't let me down this time around. It autofilled a statement after I typed in the word Miki Matsubara,
and it said, "Why did Miki Matsubara regret her music?"
I felt incredibly sad to read this, and it made me think about my own content. This video isn't about politics, it's not about social views, it's not about racism, it's not about health, it's not about science, it's not about anything that this channel traditionally stands for. This video is about Miki Matsubara and the importance of loving the content you create.
Stay with me.
November 28, 1959. Osaka, Japan.
Miki Matsubara was born to a loving father who sat on a board in a hospital and a jazz-playing mother. Being the firstborn with a younger sister to boot, her passion to be famous definitely came from her mother, as she got a front row seat at watching her mom enjoy the glitz and glam of being a jazz singer, even though back in those days, being a female singer didn't really draw an audience. So her mother was one of the rare few that were able to break out and actually make a name for herself. Miki Matsubara's mother is literally just Miki Matsubara's mother, because there's literally nowhere I've looked to date where I could find her name. She was part of a band called the Crazy Cats, and when I say part of a band, I mean she was a backup singer with no accreditations in the band. In fact, this is the only picture that I could find of the band on the internet.
And just so we're all clear, because of the times, I don't even know if Miki Matsubara's mother is the woman on the left or right.
But it didn't stop Miki from exploring the musical world. In middle school, she joined a band, and by high school, she was in a rock band, training on piano professionally and being tutored by some of the best artists in the country. But the thing that would get Miki noticed is her vocal skills and a unique sound that was still in development early on, but it was transitioning as the generations were changing. She took the jazz that her mother loved so much and added her own flair to it, and it would definitely solidify a genre that had never really been heard in Japan, and she would be one of the leading voices for it.
She took her talents to Tokyo in 1977.
While working a part-time job and singing at multiple venues, her talent and her voice was discovered at Birdland by
Yozuru Zora.
All he had to do was hear her sing once, and he took her straight to Pony Canyon, which is the label that helped make Miki Matsubara the voice that she is today. They signed her, and then she immediately went to work on working on her first album, and her first album would be a mother-ruckin' banger. In 1979, November, just a few days before her 20th birthday, she let out the song that would put her on the map forever. Stay With Me, written by Tako Tomura and composed by Tetsuju Heiyushi, sold over 300,000 copies and forever made Jazz City a staple genre in Japanese culture. It was all the rage, and it was led by the voice of Miki Matsubara. And this song helped bolster her future 13 albums and 8 hit singles. She won multiple awards and made it to the top 100 list in her first debut album. She was able to climb the charts and lend her voice to multiple animes. One of note definitely is Gundam 083 Stardust Memory, a classic. She had a huge commercial run where she was basically a staple in the household for all her great jingles and great songs, and while she never got a chance to perform overseas, it didn't stop her from excelling within her domestic realm. She created a band called Doctor Who, she got married to the drummer, and definitely saw fame. being able to reach somewhere between $1.2 and $5 million in revenue based on all her sales. She was well known within her country for being the voice of a generation. And to top it all off, she managed to stay within the top 100 for a vast majority of her career.
A big thing you need to understand about being an artist is fame is dictated by who you idolize. And when it comes to jazz and pop, there's no competition.
Jazz and pop was an industry ran by the Western culture, and some of the front runners were Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, Ray Charles, etc., etc., etc. It's hard to call yourself successful when you're comparing yourself to demigods like this, and it's not hard to see why Miki Matsubara longed to be part of that tribe of awesome performers, because it is the pinnacle of this sound, this beat, this rhythm, this genre. And while it is an accomplishment to have your voice be used for opening music in anime, since it's such a relevant topic in today's culture, by standards of American, when was the last time you even heard an American TV show have an opening song? In fact, opening and endings are cut out of TV shows in the Western culture to make more room for advertising. So you could see how this major accomplishment, in my eyes, is considered less than subpar in hers. She had high standards for herself, rightfully so, but those standards would slowly eat at her. Miki Matsubara had a lot more hurdles to face, and they had nothing to do with her talents or her grace. She started to lose her eyesight, and while recovering from surgery and still trying to be relevant in a music genre that isn't picking up and changing constantly, she found it more difficult to stay at the top of her game, because Miki Matsubara was diagnosed with cancer and would die at the age of 44, October 7th, 2004, my sophomore year in high school. 3 weeks after I would watch Gundam 083 on Toonami and not even realize the voice in this song was Miki. Fast forward 18 years and I'm here writing a script about how she impacted me. But you probably found Miki from TikTok or hearing a rendition of Stay With Me by this famous YouTuber. However you found Miki Matsubara, I'm happy you're here. But of all the things I've read in articles, I like to think that one thing isn't really true. And the one thing I like to think they got wrong about Miki Matsubara was she wasn't sad about her music. Miki Matsubara has no kids, and I don't know if her kid sister has any kids or is even alive. Her husband died not long after she did, and technically that could be the end of the Matsubara name. But we all know people die, but legends live forever. And Miki Matsubara music will live on forever. In the 23 hours, 32 minutes, and 12 seconds it took me to go through her whole entire anime songs, all her OVAs, her 5-minute specials, all her commercial jingles, 13 albums, 8 hit specials, and a bunch of aftermath and encore and private session listenings is amazing, and it made me smile. It made me do this whole entire thing. It made me dedicate 7 hours of editing for her because she made me happy. Miki Matsubara wasn't mad about her career. She was mad that she didn't get to finish her career. She was going through a lot of emotions, and I can only imagine what it's like being given this death sentence that is cancer. Back then it was definitely known as a silent killer, so she probably felt awful that she wouldn't be able to do the things that she wanted to do with the rest of her life. But she was wrong. But I'm here to tell you, Miki, you made it, baby. You made it to Hollywood. You have some of the coolest people on the internet making samples off of your music. Your sound will live on forever because you made an impact. The sad thing is you didn't get to see that. But I hope, watching down now on us, that you know we all appreciate the things that you've done for the genre. And this leads me to the point of this video. You, the person watching this, I'm a content creator and I made this for you. And I don't know if you know this or not, but you have the power to make my day by simply liking, sharing, or letting me know that you enjoyed the content that I made for you. And if you want to go above and beyond and support, you have the power to change and elevate me with a simple few keystrokes or smashing that like button. It's just that simple. I wish Miki Matsubara could see all the smiles and comments and the impact she had on all these people. It's really not fair. But more importantly, I hope you don't miss the opportunity to make someone smile, to leave a great comment, to talk about the impact of how content you are absorbing is making and changing your life.
Because life is short,
Bills are due,
the world's on fire,
and all these things are important. But like I said, this is a video about Miki Matsubara. Thanks for watching.